I am going to show you how to use Google My Maps. The first thing obviously you're going to want to do is in your search bar up here you're going to type Google My Maps. Not Google Maps, Google My Maps. It is a slightly different program that gives you some more options. This is what we're going to be diving into today, and we'll probably see it a few times throughout the course. Go ahead and do that now. Once you get signed in, let's start with a Google search of London, Ontario, and you will see it pop up here. You can add a pin to your map just like that. I'll show you what that looks like. I have it already here for us. And the neat thing you can do with these pins is you can change a lot of things about them. First off, it's going to give you a name of the pin here. If you put in a pin yourself, you can change the name of the pin to whatever you want. You can also view it in maps. It tells you the coordinates. Remember we talked about UTM coordinates. I'm sorry, these are degrees. So it is 42.98 degrees north and negative 81.24 degrees, which basically means west in this case. We can change options like the style, so we can choose different colors. We can choose different icons. You can even go in here and find lots more icons and even create some of your own from images. It's pretty cool. The other thing you can do is with the edit button, you can edit the title and you can add information like where we are now, or more interesting information about a specific place you put in there. Details about it, could be a cost for meals, a menu, anything you can think of that you want to add. Once you're done, remember you have to save it before you move on, otherwise you'll lose what you typed. Another thing you can do with this is add an image or video. So you can upload your own images if you want, but we can do a Google search for, oh boy, London, Ontario, and we can add all kinds of images in. There's a nice picture there. Unfortunately, you can only do one image at a time, so you'll have to go back and add another one by hitting the plus button here. Always important to make sure that your images are truthful and accurate. I saw one that looked like London, England, not London, Ontario. So let's choose a nice aerial photo here. And this is probably accurate. If it's not, you can always get rid of it here. We find this is not an accurate picture of London, but this looks correct. We can delete that. Or let's just say we don't like it. There, it's gone. And again, remember to save. The other thing we can do is, if we click on More, we can look for a YouTube video. And let's just pretend this is exactly what we want, or maybe that one, and we'll select it, and there we go. We now have a YouTube video embedded here. We can watch it from this window, or we can share it or view it on YouTube itself. Unfortunately, when you're watching it here, you can't click it into full screen. So there's our pin for London, Ontario. In this tutorial, I'm going to show you guys how to do a few things that you're going to need to complete the work that I've given you today. It's going to be a bit of a skill builder in terms of how to use some of these digital technologies and how mapping is done digitally. So we'll go through each tool and then I will kind of give you a guide on how to do each question, okay? We'll start off by searching for HBBO Public School or Secondary School. There it is. You can also type in the search bar up here. And we can add that to our map. Now, sometimes you'll get lucky and there'll be pictures, but in this case there isn't, so go ahead and add a picture now. One of the things you're going to need to do is navigate different maps. We are currently looking at this map. It's going to show us buildings, and if we zoom in a little bit more, we can actually see individual buildings in more detail. These are our building footprints, so they give us an understanding of what space this building occupies. We can change that to a satellite or aerial view. What we're looking at now is an aerial photo, not a satellite picture of what's going on. If we look down here, we should see, this does not look like 2019. It's copyright 2019, but this is definitely not taken then. There should usually be a date that's a little more accurate here. And then we can go to the terrain icon. At this level, we're not going to see much, but if we zoom out, we can get an idea of what the relief of the area looks like. You know, central London, pretty flat, but you'll notice over here we've got a little bit of a rise or a dip in the land. Also notice over here we've got some shading here indicating some depth where the river is flowing. Same thing around here. If we zoom in close, or if we were in a place that's a little more topographically interesting, we would be able to see contour lines, just like on a topographic map. There's a contour line there, it's very faint. Another one there, and then you get a little bit of this shading here, kind of indicating where the rise and fall in the land is. Again, topographically, it's not super interesting on a big scale, but on a slightly smaller scale, will give you some info. This map program is generally good for big topographic changes like mountains. If you want lots of detail for an area like this, you need to go to a better map than what Google will give you. Anyway, these are the three base maps you want to look at. There are some other options here that just give you, different colors, different views, that kind of thing. But really what we want to focus on are these three maps here. We're going to stick with the base map. Now, when we are using the tools here, there are quite a few tools to use. I'm going to show you how to use them right now. So we're zooming in on the Western Fair District, and let's say we wanted to add a pin. No problem. Actually, let me show you the layer first. Adding a layer is important. You're going to do that when you're setting up different things. You just click here, it creates a layer, and then you can click here to give it a name. And now if this is highlighted right along here, this blue strip, this is the layer that we are working on. So any pins that we add, such as, let's say I want to add a pin here, that will show up over there now. I can also click on some of the pins that are already provided and add them to the map as well. You'll see that they show up there. Now, tools. We've got the pins. We can add pins like that. The next tool is the draw line tool, and there's lots of different ways that you can add things. We're going to do a add a line or shape tool right now. With the cursor here, we are just going to trace the outline of, let's say, this building right here. And you can trace any shape you want. It can follow roads, it can follow property lines, buildings, mountains, you name it. All right, let's just cut that corner there, like this, like this, like this, and back. You can draw a line or you can draw a shape. It really doesn't matter what you choose. In this case, we've got something here. We'll give it a title. It's called the Agriplex. And we can save it. We can again change the style of this. So let's say we wanted it to be green. We can make it more or less transparent. And we can also make the border wider or more narrow. In here, it's going to give us a couple important pieces of information. First, this piece of information. The perimeter of the line that, or the shape that we just drew, is 531 meters. Around the outside of this building, 531 meters. The inner space, how much space it actually occupies, is 1.55 hectares. Okay? When it comes to answering some of the questions, you're going to be asked what the perimeter or the outline of the area is and what the area it occupies is. That's going to be this one. So make sure you pay attention to those. Like I said, you can also add driving routes, biking routes, or walking routes. So we could just say, we want to walk from here down to here, and then along here, and we're gonna see if it'll let us do the rails. Oh, it sure won't, so we'll click. Walk to here, walk to here, walk to here. Nope. The walking route will not let us go on rails. That's okay, you don't need to worry about it. And so it's basically given us a really long way of getting over here. But the neat thing is you can change these along the way once you're done. So if you wanted to change the route, you can do that too. Let's say we wanted to walk down to BMO and then walk back. Or maybe we didn't want to end up here, we wanted to end up over here. It will clarify some of this stuff for us. If we don't want this, we can get rid of it. We can change it, we can delete it, anything at all. We'll just get rid of this whole layer, just like that. Yes, delete. The next thing I'm going to show you is the ruler tool. This is a short-term kind of solution for measuring stuff. It doesn't stay on your map, but it does let you measure how long or how far something is, and you can do multiple different connections. So we can measure the distance along this street here if we wanted to, and go like that. And you notice that the ruler is keeping track of everywhere I measure. So it's not backtracking, it continues to add up even though I'm going along the same route. And even if I click back on where I started, there we go. Gives us a nice little marker here telling us where 1 kilometer is, a little helpful. It also tells us over here that our total distance measured is 1.17 kilometers, and it covers a total area of 0.165 hectares. Not a lot of space covered because we haven't actually boxed much in. I'll click off and that will go away. The next thing I'm going to show you is the directions tool. The directions tool is kind of neat because you can use it from here, but you can also use it on points you've added. So I am asking you at one point to find all of these places and then arrange them into directions. Get rid of this layer. And we are going to now get some directions. So let's start here. We'll click on this. Then we'll click on the directions button. And now we have a new layer of directions. Center the map, make it a little easier to read. And we want this to be up here. We want to start there, and then we're going to go, let's say here, we'll click on Budweiser Gardens, and it will give us some driving directions. Now we can change this just like any Google app from driving to walking. We can also add another destination along the way. Now we don't want to go all the way around like that. Let's move some of this stuff around. So if we click and hold and then drag up here, we can change the path. So now we've gone from Covent Gardens to the Music Hall to Budweiser Gardens. If we want to see in detail what these directions are, we're going to go click on this ellipsis and then we're going to do step-by-step directions. That's going to tell us our total drive time and how long it's going to take us to get there. Step by step, what do we do? It's 839 meters. It should take us 4 minutes to drive through all of these places without stopping, and each step of the way, what we're going to do. That is essentially all of the information that you need to be able to navigate this session. Have some fun with it, play around. There's a few things that I want you to check out and try your skills with, and then there's a few things I want you to explore. Uh, Go have some fun with it. When you're done, make sure you click on the share button and change your sharing settings so that anybody can access the link. Anyone with the link can access that. And then you're going to paste that link, this here, into the document that you are working on. That's it. If you have any questions, like always, please post them in the classroom. I will get back to you as soon as I possibly can. And have fun. Enjoy.